I was going to ask you, Joey, about your experience from the football environment of Glasgow and playing for Rangers. Can you describe your feelings when they won the title?
Really, really pleased. I mean, I went up there when we were trying to win 55. So I remember the feeling going into the club. I remember walking around at Ibrox and walking around the training centre and the passion and everything I went up there for. It obviously didn't work out for me up there. It didn't go, the way I seen it going in my head. But that was the plan. That was the way it was meant to be. Stevie then goes up there, a player who, I've played against multiple times. He's from the same part of Liverpool as me. Somebody who I idolised as a player. What a player! Probably or arguably one of the better ones of that's ever come from these shores. And then to see him transition into a manager, and he's helped me out. With Jason Holter, Fleetwood, and Jordan Rossiter, and on my managerial journey, he's helped me out. And obviously my cousin Tom Culshaw's on the staff with the lads up there, and Jordan Milson, who I know from Kirby Knowsley Schoolboys, and Gary Mack, who I've had a few beers with in Portugal, another footballer that you looked up to because of his ability. And knowing the club and knowing Jimmy Bell, Davy Lavery, and everything that goes into Rangers. I mean, I'm still a member at Loch Lomond, so the locker room there is Big Willie and Andy Black, and they're all mad Rangers fans. So to see them get the 55 and what it means to them and the passion for their club is incredible. And for it to be, Stevie in his first job, I think what an incredible job he's done. I've watched it unfold because I've lived in the hothouse for a small period, and obviously we started our managerial journeys about the same time. And you want them to do well, and you want to see young English coaches or young British coaches do well, because it's important for us all to not be in competition with each other, to champion each other's case, because there's lots of jobs out there, and we want British coaches and young British coaches to sit at the top of the football pyramid in 10, 15, 20 years time, because we're all from the same place. So buzzing for them, really pleased for the football club, really pleased for the fans, really pleased for Scottish football, because I think it's a good thing. Celtic, great achievement to win 9 in a row, phenomenal achievement, but I think both having won 9 in a row in the history sets it up lovely for the future. And it's an incredible rivalry, football rivalry, that it's a special football rivalry, and it's fully ignited again back in Glasgow, and the old firm is alive again, which I think is good for Scottish football. I think it's good for British football, and long may it continue.
I know presumptions can be dangerous, but I presume you and Stephen are close, because he paid a great tribute to you when you got called up to the England setup and the England camp. What tribute would you pay to Stephen, and has he got the hallmarks to go on to be a top manager?
I think he's on that pathway, isn't he? You look at the goals conceded in the league table this year, and Scottish football, people will argue about the level of it. It doesn't. You look at the goals conceded, look at the performances in Europe. For the Scottish side to do as well as they have in European competition, they deserve massive credit for that. Forget, the Scottish League, because obviously Celtic Rangers, it's usually a 2-horse race. But second in Scotland is nowhere. I said that on the way up. If you finish second in Scotland in the Cups or in the league, it's nothing. It's different up there. You've got to win. It's about winning. And they've won this year. Whichever way they've won, it's about winning up there. They stopped the 10 in a row. They stopped the Celtic juggernaut, and that wasn't easy to do, because when I was at Rangers were a long way behind Glasgow Celtic, and they've closed the gap and overthrown them, which is a phenomenal achievement. I think it's as big as achievement as Stevie's done incredible things as a player, European Cups and trophies galore, England caps galore, but I think it'll sit right up there. I'm obviously being presumptuous and talking for him, but imagine it must make him proud as a manager, because as a player, you're selfish, and you can drive yourself on for a reason, for your selfish reasons or for whatever your purpose is. But as a manager, you need other people to do it. It's a completely different skill set. And Stevie's shown, which we all knew, he's a phenomenal leader. We knew that as Liverpool captain, European Cup final, the goal he scores to energise the comeback. I mean, as an Evertonian, I watched it through. Oh, can't believe these are winning it again. And in the end, you want them to win it because it was an incredible story. I spoke to our players yesterday about Milan, because we were 2-0 up at Charlton. I said, look, Milan were 3-0 up against Liverpool with 45 to go and lost the European Cup final with some of the best players that have ever played the game, with the best manager in Ancelotti. You go through that Milan team and how well they played first half. So if it can happen to them, it can happen to us. Mere mortals, it can happen to us. because you've got to contextualize everything for people. You know, the results massive and you need them, but also there's more to the game. There's more at play. And as I say, I think the eulogies about Stevie as a player and as a coach will be, you know, there's people who can fill those voids and those words for you much better than I can. But I'm just delighted to see them be successful. I think it's about time young British, young English coaches, you know, start to step up and show, you know, we can also impact the game on a global scale. You know, you see us littered all through the game, and they've been downtrodden and downbeaten for a long time. And if there's ever going to be a generation to change it, I think it's us. We were the ones blessed with the opportunity to work for some of the best coaches and play against some of the best players in the world, because the Premier League comes in 1992 and the global landscape, you know, English football accelerates to the top of the global landscape because of all the things that come with the Premier League. And that gives us a unique experience, firstly, to play against players and be coached by some of the best in the world, which then gives us an opportunity to be a generational change for what comes afterwards as young coaches. That's all of us. You know, there's loads littered throughout the game, you know, Russell Martins, Ryan Lowe's, all throughout the pyramid. And that's the only way we have a great, you know, I've talked to Derek here yesterday, our kit man, about the price of greatness is responsibility. And Stevie went up to Rangers and took on that responsibility. And I think off the backside of it, he's achieved greatness. You know, to be the manager that gets them back to the first title, 55, that's history. He's already got it at Liverpool Football Club and English football, but he now gets that in Scotland, and I know just how special that can be, and I'm so happy for them all.
Just very, very finally, is it too easy to say that this could be a period of domination for Rangers?
Celtic will respond, because that's what all great clubs do. They respond to a challenge. So, you know, a wounded animal is very, very dangerous. So look, they've got to celebrate and let the dust settle on the 55 and celebrating. But, you know, they're well versed in this a lot more than me. They'll know what's coming down the track from you know, their rivals, and they'll be fully prepared for that, I'm